Yes, people, how's it going? Welcome back to Lily White Lane. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're keeping safe and well, and hope you're having a smashing day wherever you are in the world and whatever you are planning to get up to. Apologies that I am late today, all completely and utterly my fault. I had an absolute mare. I've just told Ben about it in the back room.
Yeah,
But lateness is greatness and all of that.
lateness
Speaking
is
of Ben,
greatness.
we've got an absolutely phenomenal guest on the White Hart Lounge today from Tottenham on
Where are
Tour
they?
and the Coffee Company.
Oh,
It's Ben. Nah, you're
I don't see
you're
them.
you're an honourable guest, mate. It's incredible to have you on. How are you today?
Yeah, we're having a great day today. Getting through some work, got some things to do. Always streaming, and we're going to drink some coffee, as we're always drinking coffee, and we're going to have some fun. We're going to talk some Tottenham. It's going to be great.
I'll have to ask you before we get started. As a coffee man, what is
Yeah.
your favourite coffee? Do you like a white coffee, a black coffee, a
Oh,
latte, an espresso?
if I go into the technicalities of it, I like cappuccinos because I like to have that's my first thing I do in the morning is I have a cappuccino. And it's got to be a Brazilian coffee. I love Brazilian coffee. It's my absolute favourite. The chocolatey
Brazilian
stuff.
coffee.
I like Brazilian coffee. Chocolatey, fruity, smooth. That's what I like. I like daily drinkers. I'm a bit salt of the earth. So I like the stuff that gets you going in the morning. That's my stuff.
No, I understand how you're getting on. Look, big up to everyone as well in the chat tuning in. I do apologise that I am late, but look, a pleasure to have you all tuning in. A pleasure to have you on today, Ben. It's great to have you on.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Thanks for having me, mate. Thanks for having me.
No, honestly, it's incredible to have you on. But look, guys, if you don't get the premise of the show, White Hart Lounge have different guests on. We'll be talking all things Spurs. We'll also be talking a few personal things such as biggest fear, 3 dream dinner guests, and stuff like that. So, guys, comment any questions you want us to answer throughout this as well. But I'm going to start it off with a simple question. Ben, how are you today?
Very good. Very good. It's been a long day. The weather is okay, amazingly. So I'm relatively happy with myself. So that's always great.
Yeah, it's strange to have a good weather day here in the UK, but don't take them for granted.
It's terrible. It has been awful. I don't understand it.
No, especially when the rest of Europe's absolutely burning, and then you look at us and it's pouring down. Honestly, it's absolutely horrendous. I do apologise if
maybe it's the internet. Maybe Scott. I should be running okay, but we'll work through it.
I can hear you all good. But look, move on to the next question. I've asked this to every Spurs fan. Every response I get is very interesting. How did you start supporting Spurs, Ben?
I was forced by my parents. I've been going to Tottenham since the late 90s. I can't remember my exact first game. I believe the first game I can fully remember was when Tottenham played Liverpool on my birthday. I can't remember. It was the day the Queen Mother died, so we had a gold programme. We had a gold programme. Tottenham lost, but Teddy Sheringham scored, so I was a happy bunny. And I think I went to Spurs before that, but I've been going to Spurs for the majority of my life. We've always had season tickets in my family. First started fully going with my family in the Old East Stand. My parents always sat in row 4 of turnstile 36, and it was block D. So, and then we were sitting quite far. My dad and my brother were sitting down low, and eventually we moved together, and I was sitting there ever since. So I've been watching for a very decent amount of time. So it's all there.
Sounds very similar to my story. You know, I didn't really have any other choice. My dad was a Spurs fan, and he's told me about memories when I was only 1 year old. He was chucking me about the room when we won the Carabao Cup, and the only trophy I've ever witnessed I was won. So it goes to show we don't win much in all honesty.
We don't
big up
much,
everyone in the chat as well.
Big up, top
and
big up to everyone in the chat. There's some wonderful people in the chat today, so big up to all of you.
Scott and Rob, everyone else in the chat, big up to you all. Pleasure to have you all in. And look, we'll move on to the next question. Like I say, very similar to how I started supporting Spurs. You know, family of Spurs fans. My dad's a Tottenham fan. His dad was a Tottenham fan because they were successful in the 60s. And I mean, it runs in the blood for me, and I'm sure it's the same for you. But look, we'll move on to the next question. you've been supporting Spurs a long time, Ben. What's your favourite Spurs memory of all time?
It was February of 2008, and Jonathan Woodgate scored a header in extra time in the Carling Cup final, because it was the Carling Cup final then.
Yeah.
In that all white kit, Dimitar Berbatov scored a penalty. That's my favourite Spurs memory. To actually see Tottenham win a trophy, I witnessed it. Can't remember. I was in the top tier of Wembley with all my family. That was number one, because trophies are what make football special, and we played really well that day. Amazingly, that was some great moments. But yeah, Jonathan Woodgate, extra time, 109th minute, get in there. I still remember it.
Yeah,
I don't remember much, but I remember that.
No, I bet, Ben. I've been told about it by family members and friends. And look, my only favourite Spurs memories are really seeing goals and good games against Arsenal. I've never really witnessed us winning the trophy. Like I say, I was one when we won the Carabao Cup. So I don't obviously I don't remember it. But look, it's tough for me to say favourite Spurs memories. Of some of the wins against Arsenal were quite fun. That 10 goal against Arsenal. But yeah, hopefully I can see some trophies down the line. Because by the sounds of it, they're quite fun to celebrate. But look, we'll move on to the next question. I've asked you about your favourite Spurs memory. You do a fair few YouTube bits and pieces here and there. Now you run the coffee company, you run Tottenham on tour. How did you start out on YouTube?
I started out it's almost about a year and 3/4. It's almost 2 years ago now. I was originally part of the original Tottenham Tantrum Goal, which is now Tottenham Till I Die, with Dermot, Kuva and Phil Lattis. That's how I started. But a lot of things came up and I had to start focusing on this business. So originally we left that and we were basically doing things with the Irish Hotspurs, going on their fan show whenever I had the chance to go on We Are Tottenham TV and loads of channels around there. But the main thing was, it was a normal day. It was a rainy, horrible day. I was on the train home. And then suddenly Brian gives me a text message, because as we all know, me and Brian are very, very tight. We're very, very close friends, almost brothers in a way. And he said, Ben, I've got an offer for you. Would you like to join Tottenham on tour? I was like, hell yeah, I want to join Tottenham on tour. But I couldn't really do all the YouTube stuff I was doing at that time because I was busy running this. I still want to start competing in coffee. I'm going to do it eventually, but we're going to do it. It's been very difficult with competitions and all that stuff. But I've been part of Tottenham on tour for nearly 2 years now. Nearly 2 years. So it's great to do that. But the coffee company is something I want people around the world to see about coffee. I want people to know about coffee. So the best way of doing that is to stream my coffee shop. You can see it.
Inside it, yeah.
Small little place, but I can teach people about coffee. You can talk about mental health, about people's interests, about music, about football, and we're not tied down to having to talk about football. Which really, if you want me to talk about football, go to Tottenham on tour. It's the perfect sort of sub channel. So it's just that's how really bits and bobs. But mostly I got known being on the Irish Hotspur chat, and I still have great respect for those boys over there whenever I do get to go on there. But I'm on all the channels. There's loads of them in here. Like Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs for one, Jacobs. There's loads of channels. The Free Spurs boys, I'm on there on a bi-weekly basis. I try and be friends with every single Spurs YouTuber because we've got to work together as a fan base. Perchy, Stava, all of them. I've been part of all their shows.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Ben. And it sounds very similar to how I started out on YouTube. I started out doing shows with David when he started his channel. I remember I was doing Prem predictions with him and Charlie THFC and stuff, and I went on a few We Are Tottenham TV shows. What I think is great about this community, and I think everyone who I've had on has said it, it's so close, and you don't see it with many other YouTube communities. I think you look at Man United fans and fan channels, they're always competing against each other. You look at it with Arsenal fan channels always competing against each other. And whilst there is bits and pieces going in the Spurs community, I'm not going to pretend that there isn't. I think it's very tight-knit, and I think a lot of people are very, very close. Like you say about Brian, when I started out on YouTube, one of the first shows I went on was the Tottenham Away podcast. It was when they were doing the podcast, I think, exclusive to Spotify, and it was like the 14th episode or something. Yeah. And it was Brian Daigle, Brian Ireland, Stell, and the original lineup. And look,
Yeah.
it's great to talk about. I just think everyone is so friendly, and the way I was welcomed into this community, I'll always be thankful. You, Brian, Brian Ireland as well, all the guys at Tottenham away, the Irish Hotspur. I don't have any real personal issues with anyone really in the Tottenham community, because I think it's fantastic. But guys, you heard it there as well from Ben. Go subscribe to the Coffee Company. Go subscribe to Tottenham on Tour as well. If you haven't subscribed to both, what are you doing with your life? Go check them out. But look, we will move on to the next question. We spoke a little bit about Spurs. Do you have a soft spot for any other clubs, whether it be in England or across the world?
I have an affinity for Italian football because, as many people know, one of the things I always loved football. I always loved watching Tottenham, but my dad, in all his wisdom, has a very good friend who was very close friends with Fabio Capello. So when Fabio Capello was England manager, I used to go to every England game, and I used to speak with Mr. Capello after the game.
That's mental.
So me and him had full-blown conversations about football. So I have a massive soft spot for Italy in general. I spend a lot of time in Italy. But one of my, I have a soft spot for two Italian clubs, and I've got to choose between two of them for who I'm going to throw my hat in the ring for. One of them is AC Milan, because the first ever Italian football shirt I got was an AC Milan shirt by my dad when we played them in 2009, when we played them in the Champions League. When obviously Aaron Lennon went up the other end and scored. My dad was at that game. I couldn't go because of school, but my dad brought me home a Ronaldinho shirt, number 80, AC Milan shirt. And one of my favourite stadiums to go to is the Stadio Franchi in Florence. And it's I love Fiorentina. I love Florence as a city. It's an absolutely spectacular city. So it's got to choose between one of those guys. But I think AC Milan might just edge it because they were the first. And I love Milan. I spend most of my life, all my professional culture has been learned from people from Milan, from the women that I learned from. So I do love Milan, deeply, deeply love Milan. So it'd probably be Milan.
No, I completely understand where you're coming from, Ben. AC Milan, very historic club. Fiorentina, great fans, great people. It's one country I've never been to, Italy, and it's definitely on the bucket list. It's definitely on the bucket list because Mediterranean countries in general, but places I've been to Greece, I've been to even Lanzarote in Spanish islands, and look, I think it's fantastic. I really want to go, really. But look, you said something very interesting there about Fabio Capello, that you spoke to Fabio Capello. That's absolutely mad. How did he come across as a person?
He's a wonderful, wonderful bloke. And one of the lies that the media always, I'm not going to quit a lie, actually. Let me retract that. A mistruth is that Fabio Capello couldn't speak English. And I know personally that he spoke perfect English. Absolutely perfect English. We had great chats with him about football. We talked about Tottenham a lot because he was a massive fan of Gareth Bale, and obviously Gareth Bale was playing for Tottenham at that point. So we spoke a lot about. I'll even show you. I've got the picture somewhere. But,
that's unreal.
I've got the picture somewhere, but that was one of my favourite memories because he let me meet all the entire team because what they've got at Wembley is they've got a thing called the atrium. So if you've got a box at Wembley, you can go to the atrium, which is where all the players, they sign autographs. But because we knew him personally, we got to go in the backstage area and we got to meet Rooney, Gerrard. I spoke with Michael Dawson, who's one of my heroes. So we spoke with, I love those guys. I really, really I really respect that man. So anyone that ever talks any disdain about Fabio Capello, I will shout at you. I love the man.
That's mad. That's absolutely mad. Something you said there, spoke perfect English, and the media lied about that. I remember hearing stories about that journalists and the media have come out with about Capello saying that he wouldn't speak to players directly because he couldn't speak that good English. But it's mad that you say that. But that's something to tell people. Just casually chat to the
Pochettino did as well. Something Pochettino did at Southampton. He spoke in another language so they couldn't twist the words.
Yeah. Do you know what it is though? With Poch, I always remember something. My dad said this. he did know how to speak English, he just wasn't confident enough at times to say it, because there were times where they say stuff to him in I just remember one interview when he started his first interview. You understand what I'm saying, don't you? He sort of laughed. So he did understand, but I don't think that confident enough. Yeah. And look at now, you speak it better than some English people can. But that's mad to hear about Fabio Capello, man.
I need to find the picture. I can find the picture somewhere. Give me a sec.
No worries. No worries. But that's just insane. Fabio Capello. Wow. Just casually chatting to the ex.
The man was a top guy, and here we go. Where are we going? I'll have to send it to you another time, Robbie. I can't find it, but I have to send it to you.
No worries whatsoever, man. That's absolutely awesome to hear about. And look, we'll move on to the next question. When I asked you that one, soft spot for any other clubs, I didn't realise it turned into a conversation about you meeting Fabio Capello and actually getting on with it. That's mad to hear about. Absolutely mad to hear about. But look, we've spoken a lot about Spurs, a lot about football. Did you ever play football? And if so, what level?
I did, but I wasn't very good. I've mostly played right back or defender because I've never been a pacey guy. I've always been quite good at defending though, because I've again watched a lot of Italian football, so I like defending. But I was never a great player. I was never part of a team. I never had the fitness because of personal issues and all that stuff. But yeah, I did love football. I loved football growing up, and we always played football at school. And I've actually played with a footballer, because in my school year was a player that now plays for Charlton Athletic, in Jack Payne. He plays for Charlton Athletic. So we played a lot of football, and he used to skin me every day. Like there was no way to really good footballer, Jack Payne, a really good footballer.
That's mad, man. You went to school with a football player, talking to Fabio.
That's me.
Look at that.
As a kid. That is.
Look at that. That's wicked.
Got glasses. There we go. Found it.
That's wicked, man. That's absolutely wicked. Honestly.
Yeah.
But look, you got connections, Ben. You know, going to school with football players, chatting casually to Fabio Capello.
Yeah.
Man. Absolutely mad. But look, it's really interesting to hear about. I'm sure everyone in the chat, everyone watching it, would agree with that. But look, I'm going to move on to the next question. We've spoken a fair bit about football now. What are your hobbies and interests away from football?
Obviously, we all know that I'm a bit of a coffee fiend, but my interest mostly in music. So I'm learning to play the guitar currently, and I do love my guitars and a bit of guitar nerdery. We love pieces of gear in the coffee industry. All the bits of gear that I've got in my coffee shop all mean something, and that's very, very similar to liking guitars. So
yeah,
I do like my guitars. I love my movies, video games. Most importantly, Nintendo games. I love my Nintendo games. But I like a wide range of things. My family's always been interested in classic cars, so I do love a bit of classic cars and Formula One. Anything really, as long as it's interesting, as long as I can sink my teeth into it, I'll be interested in it.
Do you have a favourite band then?
Favourite band is AC/DC, as many people know. I've used a lot of my influences from AC/DC in blues, and I'm going into like stuff like Stevie Ray Vaughan and loads of blues stuff. B.B. King. I love the blues. The blues is something I love.
No, that's great to hear, man. And I've always loved rock music. Guns and Roses, bands like that. And do you know what it is, though? I've grown up in a generation where, okay, I understand why people would like it, but a lot of the music that comes out now isn't for me. So I get a lot of my music interest from my parents and stuff.
Yeah.
I've grown up on listening to my mum and dad have listened to. So it is
a lot of good music. My mum, like us.
Yeah. Yeah, my mum's grown up listening to Fleetwood Mac and things like that.
Proper bands.
Yeah, and stuff like that. And then there's other bands such as Oasis who I love. I think the Beatles as well. But yeah, AC/DC, brilliant band. But you spoke about movies there. Do you have a favourite movie?
I think you've got a bit of feedback, Robbie. You're a bit crackly.
I do apologise if I am, mate. Hang on a second. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah. Oh, still a bit crackly. We'll go on with it. We'll go on with it. It's a bit better.
I'll try my best. So, guys, if you're watching it, I do apologise. I have got this phone that I am streaming with right now in the water earlier today. So hence the fact it may be a little bit crackly. But do you have a favourite film?
Favourite film? Oh, I'm not the sort of person that likes a favourite film. I like favourite film of this genre or favourite film of this genre. But I would say all-time favourite films. I would probably say something like Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom. I love my classic movies. I love my Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. I even love rubbish movies, stuff like The Day After Tomorrow, and like stuff like Nicolas Cage movies. But I'll say all-time favourite. I would say it's Temple of Doom, or one of the Indiana Jones films, because it's just the perfect trilogy. Back to the Future, another one.
I really like the Indiana Jones, but same as you, Temple of Doom I think is my favourite. And when I was younger, I mean, there was one scene where just quick spoiler alert here, where Mola Rani rips this guy's heart out. He doesn't like literally take it out, but it's sort of done like that. I saw that when I was about 11, 12. It freaked me out. It completely and utterly freaked me out. But Temple of Doom's a great film. Have you seen the new Indiana Jones?
Yeah, I did not like it at all. I really did not like it. I thought it was a bad film. I would see it again, just for the whole pure nostalgia of it. But as an Indiana Jones film, it is by far the worst one. They did not need to make a fourth one. They did not need to make a fifth one either. So it was pretty horrible. It was upsetting, to say the least. It was upsetting.
But they do that with a lot. It's like they're just with a lot of these film trilogies. Because of how much money they make, they keep making more. Yet the actors seem to get older and older. It's not the same. It's like what they've done with Rocky, in my opinion, because I love the Rocky films. I think they've done that cleverly, moving on to Creed, not trying to carry on with the actual Rocky story. Just a few trilogies, and just gets to a point where you're seeing people in their 80s try and do stunts and stuff. It's not for me. It's not for me. But look, moving on, you spoke a little bit about music, so maybe there's a musician in here, maybe there's an actor. 3 dream dinner guests. You can invite 3 people, dead or alive, to a dinner. Who are you inviting then?
I think it would have to be Stevie Ray Vaughan, because I love Stevie Ray Vaughan. I think Angus Young. And I think it'd have to be a singer. Someone like Lainey Wilson, someone who's a good singer. I love Lainey Wilson because I love my country music. And Lainey Wilson is phenomenal if you've never listened to her. But it'd be those things. We'd have a jam on the guitar. We'd have Lainey Wilson singing. We'd probably have someone else come in and be the band.
Don't get much better. No, man, it sounds great. It don't get much better than that. Don't get much better than that. But look, we've spoken about dream dinner guests. We've spoken about football. We haven't really spoken about Spurs right now. What are your thoughts on the current situation at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club then?
Oh, can you just repeat that again, Robbie? It went a bit fuzzy then.
I do apologise. What are your current thoughts on the situation right now?
It's a total disaster. It is a total disaster at what's happening at the club. As we all know, as someone that was quite prominent in the purple and gold, starting that with all the logos and things. I hate the way my football club's run at the moment. And it's really sad. It's really sad because we've now got a really decent manager who's a really decent bloke. And he's not being given the tools to be able to implement a style of football. Just over 3 weeks before the season starts, and we've still not got any defenders when we conceded the most goals we've almost ever conceded in a Premier League season. It is a disaster. And all that with the Harry Kane news about him possibly going, it's really difficult to see the positives. I've been arguing with people on the internet, and they're people trying to tell me to be positive. I cannot be positive until I see that defence fixed. I cannot see it being fixed. And it's worrying to me because I've got to watch that same bunch of idiots at the back next season, and it's going to be really sad.
Yeah. No, I understand where you're coming from, and I agree. When you think that the season's what, 3 weeks out, 3 weeks out, I believe, from the season, it'll be 2 weeks on the weekend, and by the looks of it, we're probably going to head into it with Diamond back. So scary stuff to hear, but we have got the man in legend, Ryan Daigle, in the comment section.
Shalom, Aki.
Taps over off. I haven't seen that taps over. Oh, see, literally just speaking about centre backs and then taps over off. I mean, I said earlier that the was still on guy. That's what Romano said, but I mean, it's just a joke. And do you know what I said earlier? I did a video earlier on the channel, and I said, because Romano said Tottenham Hotspur's priority is centre back is taps over. I mean, that already tells you that we're going to end up with someone else, because we never get our main priorities. But Ben, what are your thoughts on this taps over off?
This is a disaster. This is the guy I wanted to be the captain, to be not the captain, but the leader in my back four. That's the guy we needed. I still want Van der Ven as well, but that was the guy we needed. That was the guy we absolutely needed. And Ryan's just sent me a tweet, so he's probably going to go That's a disaster. That is a disaster. To say the least, without me swearing and effing and blinding, because that wouldn't make for good YouTube content, or would it?
Go ahead if you want, mate. Go ahead if you want.
I'm going to refrain myself.
No, I completely understand your frustration, Ben. Yeah. I mean, yet again, Spurs, just like under Poch with Dybala, just like under this entire tenureship under Daniel Levy, we can't seem to get in our main target, and I don't get it. Why have we signed other players before we went on to sign a centre back? I don't personally understand it, but look, it's just a joke. It's an absolute joke. But look, another Spurs player who could be going is Harry Kane this summer. Yeah. Do you think Harry Kane will go, Ben?
I think he's going to go at some point anyway, whether it's this year or it's next year. I am very much in the thought that he's going to stay one more year. And until Bayern give an offer of 100 million sterling rather than 100 million euro, I think Harry Kane's going to be staying at Tottenham and going to Chelsea on a free next year. That's what I truly believe. I think he's going to Chelsea personally to link up with Pochettino. And
that would really hurt. Poch and Kane to Chelsea.
I think Kane's going to Chelsea, and that really worries me. But at the end of the day, if he goes to Chelsea and crosses that divide, I will not blame him one instance, because he's done absolutely everything for him to win a trophy at Tottenham. But the club has not given him the team around him to be able to flourish and win a trophy. He's always having to play too many games, which means he gets injured. So when we did get to a final, he was always injured. And then he was played anyway. He should never have been played in any of those finals, but we've never had backups sufficient for Harry Kane. And finally, we do have a backup, and it's not good enough. It's Richarlison.
Yeah, no, I completely and utterly agree there. Richarlison, a lot of people are saying he can take over Kane's shoes. All I say is be careful what you wish for. You know, I don't think it was just Antonio Conte an issue there with Richarlison. I don't think the guy's good enough at all for Hotspur right now. But look, so go back to that Champions League final even. There were people going to start Moura's a winger. Moura's a winger, and we weren't going to miss out on starting someone like Son, but we didn't have a suitable backup for Kane, so he played it injured, and everyone calls him a bottle job for it. It's like it. When you look back on it, it's Daniel Levy's fault, and people go, "How?" Because he didn't bring in a replacement. We didn't have that backup there in the final, so it's frustrating. But look, I'm with you on since I started on YouTube, I've been saying the outcome of both games because I don't like giving the money, and it hurts to see the state of our football club right now. But you know what it is, Ben? I don't think it hurts for me, but I don't think it hurts as much as maybe it's the other way around. But I don't think it hurts as much as other people because I haven't seen us be really successful.
Yeah,
I really feel for the people who lived through the 60s and 70s watching the Spurs. Right? Yeah. Or maybe it's different. Maybe they see the Spurs win trophies a bit more relaxed situation now. I don't know, but it's just upsetting. Whatever way.
It's really upsetting because we have all the tools to be a really successful football club. But as soon as we get into a good position, we take the foot off the gas. It's always the same. Always the same. I absolutely envy. There's Mr. Graham in the chat, GRL58. He's seen all, except for the double winning team when he would have been just a little nipper. He's seen every great couple.
I didn't catch that.
Shut up, Siri. He's seen every great Tottenham team. He's seen the 70s team. He's seen Ozzy Ardiles. He's seen it all. And what have I got to see for it? Nothing.
Yeah.
I've seen nothing. Nothing. I've seen a couple of Carling Cup wins. Whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo.
Exactly.
We are
it's a toxic relationship. That's the upsetting thing. I wouldn't have supported Spurs any other way, but it's like drags you down. It drags you down sometimes, but then you get that bounce breaker against Arsenal or something like that. It's like a drug addiction. You can't help but watch it or be with it, but it's like, yeah, all it does. You know it's bad for you, but you keep on watching it. But look, I'm going to move on to the next question, one of the final questions we do have. Ben, you've been doing YouTube for a while, mate. What are your future ambitions on YouTube?
Just to have fun, make the world a better place. That's all I'm trying to do with my little YouTube channel, is to just get people to be nice to each other. That's all I want. Build a community of like-minded individuals, and we can just have a good chat. And we just have a good chat about Tottenham or about coffee. I just want to make the world a better place. I don't care how many subscribers we got. We hit 400 subscribers today, finally, on the coffee company.
Big up.
Which is great. But it's all about the people. It's building communities.
Yeah. I think you're absolutely spot on, Ben. And I said it earlier in the show. I think the Spurs community is different. I think, okay, there are little arguments that take place here and there and issues, but as a Spurs YouTube community, I think everyone's so close, genuinely. And it's like, you know, you're with Tottenham on tour with Brian. I talk to Brian occasionally. I used to go on shows with him. Everyone's had some sort of connection with other people at some point or another on being on shows. And look, it's been a pleasure having you on today. And like I say, I've really enjoyed it, but you're spot on. You know, I think a lot of people take it too seriously, and you've just got to enjoy it, have a laugh about life, football, and your other interests. And you said that's what you can do on your own channel as well. Ben, where can people find you?
You can find us at the Coffee Company. Most importantly, Monday through Friday. We do a show on Wednesday tomorrow with my wonderful friends Bobby, Kate, and Kuva usually, but Kuva's moving house at the moment and stuff like that. But we mostly every day you can find us on the Coffee Company. The link, you've put it in the title, so that's really nice of you, Robbie. But most importantly, you can find us on Tottenham on Tour with Daigle, Kiriakou, Ireland, Isaacs, Amir, all of the Tottenham on Tourians, all the Tottenham on Tourians. It's a wonderful place to be. We talk football. We do this a lot. We scream Levy out. We wear purple and gold scarves. That's where you need to be. So join myself, Daigle, Kiriakou, Ireland, and the rest of the Tottenham on Tour crew over there. And let's just talk Tottenham. Let's be nice. And subscribe to the Coffee Company if you haven't already.
Yeah, guys, you heard it here first. If you haven't subscribed to Tottenham on Tour or the Coffee Company, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Go subscribe if you haven't already. But look, Ben, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the channel today. You know, really enjoyed it. What's coming up on the Coffee Company and on Tottenham on Tour?
Oh, tomorrow is the Brewing Bollock show, as we like to call it, and we're just going to have a laugh. I get Kuva, I get Bobby K, I get members of the Spurs YouTube community, and we just have fun for an hour. We just have fun and absolute drivel and have a laugh, because that's the most important thing about life, is to laugh, to have fun. So that's what we do on a Wednesday. On Tottenham on Tour, we're probably going to do a show tomorrow if no one is streaming tomorrow morning pre the game. I think we might do a daily dose, and we might talk some Tottenham and the disaster of not signing a centre back. Yeah.
No, guys, be sure to tune in that if that live stream does take place. Obviously, Tottenham Hotspur are playing Sea Lion Sailors tomorrow afternoon, so that should be a cracking game. If we don't win by more than 10 goals, I don't know what's going on. But look, Ben, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Everyone in the chat, thank you for tuning in. We are going to wrap it up now. Look, we've done a fair few episodes of this chat show. We had Stella on the first episode. I'm not going to name who we had on the second episode because of recent events. On the third episode, the fantastic Brian Daigle. The fourth episode, brilliant usually. And on the fifth episode, Ben, the legendary Ben himself. So look, guys, go subscribe to the Coffee Company. Go subscribe to Tottenham on Tour. Been a pleasure having you on, Ben, and everyone in the chat. Take care of yourselves. All the best. And as always, as we like to say on this channel, and as Ben says in his, leave it out.
As says it, leave it out.
We have to say it, leave it out. Lean it out. See you later, guys. Thank you.